Hey guys, it's me Jenny, and I'm on my web camera because it's a commentary. Hey, that felt weird. I've got a hair sticking and there's some dangly bits, and I heard it jangle just as I did that weird sort of like swinging my Bob Doodly Watson, and it was distracting. There we go. Hi! Never gonna start one of these smoothly, ever. Especially not after maybe one glass of wine. So hi guys. It's time for a commentary in which I respond to the older videos and type a video response, a typing response, and then I do it with this video response. So it's a conversation. It's my answer to a live video, because live video it's hard to keep things going unless there's something specific to talk about, or there's lots of people to chat to. So this is my answer to that, because I've always got something to talk about because you guys are awesome and chatting comments all the time. And I said I would do this yesterday, so I'm doing this today. As in, I said I would do this today, yesterday, when blah 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 logic. Hi. So I'm gonna answer quite a lot of videos worth of questions today. But I'm gonna try and do it quite quickly, because I will be doing a big long stream tonight. I'm hoping to about 2 to 3 hours, which I know is not a lot for gaming streams. Like 36 hours is a relatively long stream, but for me 2 to 3 hours is quite a lot. And I won't be able to really do that until the rest of the family's gone to bed, because the house is full tonight. So I'll be probably settling down in the kitchen to do the stream tonight, rather than in my cushy chair, because my sister sleeps that room, so I can't stream from this room tonight. So sorry about that. So it will be a longish stream, but it will be not too long, because the whole house is full and I don't want to keep people up and all of those sort of things. And also it'll be cold downstairs in the kitchen, so I don't want to stay up too late. But there we go. So to conclude, this is going to be relatively brief, because if you want to talk to me live, go to twitch.com/classlibrarian. If I remember to put that in the description, it'll be down in the description. If not, so be it. Come and chat to me tonight. It'll be probably a couple of hours from when this video is online. So hey, feel free to do that. I will be in the kitchen playing Oblivion, because I really want to make some progress on that game, because I'm assassinating people with my amazing murder skills. And I want to see whether or not I can finish the Assassin's Quests tonight. That would be amazing. So yeah, that's happening tonight. So this will be relatively brief, even though I will be trying to cover quite a lot of videos. So, going way back, let's have a look at the date. So, going back to Monday update vlog from September 18th, and today is December 22nd. So it's not too bad, not as bad as it has been, but there we go. So that was just a general update vlog. I think I was very tired, because Namor, which your name is surprisingly close to a variant on one of my family surnames. That's weird. Namor 71795 said your yawn is contagious. I think there's been studies into the contagiousness of yawning. Apparently it's a whole thing. If you like yawn near animals, then they might yawn as well. I think it's meant to be something to do with a shared empathy thing. If you're particularly empathetic, you yawn when other people yawn. Apparently that's a thing. Red Sky Blackbird says, too much yawning! Very true. Even the process of talking about yawning is making me want to yawn, but I shall restrain myself and just swallow down any yawns that I happen to have. Jenny just came from work and I'm a bit sleepy now. Thanks to you, I'm even sleepier now. I am sorry, Red Sky Blackbird, for making you sleepy, but that's just a side effect of being sleepy and sharing videos when I'm sleepy. Also from Red Sky Blackbird, he says, do we know what will happen with when Critical Role ends? Will we get a new Critical Role with fresh characters? So if you haven't already found this out, Red Sky Blackbird, the new Critical Role series will be starting. I think they've released the date. I think it's the 6th, or I don't know which day of the week it is, but it's starting next year. So it'll be within the same universe. It's still set in Taldori, but it'll be an entirely new set of characters with the same cast, which I'm really excited for. I'm very much looking forward to it. In fact, next year my RPG prospects have just out into a huge amount at the moment, because I've still got the home game, which will continue to run next year, even though the DM and one of the players is going to have an offspring, pretty soon. But they promised to carry on with the game, so we'll see how that one works out with childcare. But yeah, so that should be fun. So that will continue. The home game shall continue. There is maybe something going on with my friends from Canada, which I need to actually discuss with them. But I'm looking forward to that. Well, to be honest, we haven't really done much discussion. It was just really, really fun the first time, so I need to push that boat out and see what we can do to get a possible D&D show on this channel going. And also, due to some changes to my work schedule, we'll see how that goes as well. But currently, at the moment, it means I can actually make every week of the club games. I'm part of a local gaming and RPG club, which does basically lots of quick games, as in quick by RPG standards. So I think it's about 6 to 8 weeks in each mini campaign, and then DMs can repitch or create new characters, blah 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 blah, and then everyone votes to see what game they want to join. And it's a system that works, and it's a system that works for a lot of people who have very busy lives. So just 3 hours a week, you go, you have fun. It's really, really worthwhile, and I really enjoy it. So at the moment, I have Wednesday nights off, which means I can do that, which means that I can DM/play as needed, which I'm very, very much excited about. Plus Critical Role is back, so yes, much excite. There we go, moving on. I haven't got my mouse, I've got to use my touchpad. Who does these things? KSJ Hawker says he counted 6. I'm assuming that is 6 yawns. Again, trying not to bring the habit back, swallowing them down so I don't start yawning again and making you all sleepy at the beginning of the video. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was very, very tired that video. I think I literally went thronk sideways and then uploaded the next morning on that one. Torsey said, you made me yawn, Sleepy Jenny makes me sleepy, lol. And again, running with the theme of that video, seemingly. But thank you guys for your comments. And moving on to the Facebook tag with many awkward star swipes, which is the tour tag game number 3, and that was from September 2nd. So let's have a quick look. KSJ Hawker says, I know what it means to see my life flash before my eyes, but what does it mean if I see someone else's life flash before my eyes? For my Facebook cover photo, he has seen of a street scene from his vacation in London. And because my profile picture is a mini, the placement of my profile picture makes it look like my car is driving through London, which I think is very cute. And the fact that you have a mini is, like, I've always kind of semi-wanted a mini. It's a very traditional, like, British car. Yeah, that sounds really nifty. That seems like a very nifty design for a Facebook profile to have the car on your profile picture. I never would have thought of that. That's pretty clever. If you know what it's like to see your life flash before your eyes, then the answer is you've seen someone else's Facebook if you're seeing someone else's life flash before their eyes, or you're watching like This Is Your Life or whatever program that is where it looks through people's histories. Tours Times, aka Tor, who is the other half of this tour tag game, said, well done. I knew this one would be tough, and you've inadvertently given me a tough topic, as she barely uses Twitter. Yeah, so that was a bit of a tricky one. I tagged Tor tagged me in the Facebook tag, which is something she uses as her primary social media. And I'm not very good at Facebook. I very rarely use it. Most of my pictures are many years old. While on the other hand, she doesn't really use Twitter, and that's one of my primary forms of social media. So between the two of us, we actually challenged each other quite effectively on that particular tag game, so that was fun. Moving on to Elder Scrolls Oblivion, much excite. KSJ Hawk was the only one to comment and said, yum yum rat meat. Which, you know, you can't go wrong with a bit of rat meat. Rat meat and a bit of cheddar and maybe some sweet rolls. Are all like staples of the Elder Scrolls series. So that was all fun and dandy. As I said, I'm going through this quite quickly, I'm sorry, but at the same time, I was going to finish after, I think, 5 videos, and then I went through and I didn't get a huge amount of comments, so I've added a lot more videos to this particular comment response video, because I wanted to make sure it was enough content for you, which again, it probably will be shorter than usual. I apologize, which maybe doesn't justify using the web camera, which I haven't explained, but those of you who are watching at this point know what it is. I use the shitty web camera because it means I can talk for longer without myself running out of either battery or SIM card. And yeah, it works. Basically, it works. Moving on. Wow. I'm the master of quick talking today. Fortune of Solitude tag, which is in the tour tag game. It's number 4, and it's from October 4th. KSJ said, eating sweet pickles / bringing sweets. Thought of my grandma. Late cancer for them. Late cancer for them. I feel like I think I said a poem in that one. I think this may be KSJ's poem. So eating sweet pickles, bringing sweet thoughts of grandma, late canna for them. I don't really know what that means. But it seems like a nice little haiku, I guess. I would have to count the syllables in order to check whether or not it is a haiku. But there's a lot of nice thoughts in there. Sweet pickles is nice, and you know, grandmas and grandpas are very special to everyone, and I'm sad that I don't have any left in this world. But yeah, thank you for the effort. Towards Time says, fantastic summer poem, really quite beautiful, thank you. I look forward to making a fashion montage. Yes, that was my tag to challenge us to do the tours tag for the next video. Again, these videos might be out of sync as I respond to them because the way that I open the tab sometimes is a little bit squiffy. But yeah, so at that point it was me tagging Tor to do the fashion tag. So yeah. Moving on to the Something Something Sleepy video, which is about as good as a title as the Something Something Monday update, and probably involves an equal number of yawns. So I'm sorry, I'm not very good at titling my videos, and I do try and update things, but sometimes they're a little bit squiffy. James, very nice, simple username with a little bit of a troll face. It says, you remind me of a young Sissy Spilak, who is the main girl from the original Carrie movie, which I'll take as a compliment. She's quite an attractive young girl. I think, to be honest, most of the connection between she and I is the fact that I don't wear makeup. I'm a relatively pale white female with blonde hair who doesn't really wear makeup, but I will take it as a compliment, genuinely. Thank you very much. Yeah, as long as you don't drop pig's blood on me, I'm contented, and if I happen to develop telekinesis, then I'll be more than happy to use it for good. More like Matilda, less like Carrie. I think that would be the way that I'd like to go. But fortunately, I don't think I have circumstances that would warrant the telekinetic powers that are featured in either of those films, triggered by years of domestic abuse. I have not suffered at the hands of anyone in my family, so it's unlikely that I'll be getting any sort of telekinesis, although I've always wanted to be able to lift things with my mind and be like, Advent calendar, come hither, without having to, you know, do any work. Like, I'd like to be a Jedi. That would be pretty nifty. Moving on to Nathan Nile, who says, my job only opens 5 days a week, and we're only open for one shift, so his life has been pretty easy to schedule. Yeah, I wish I had that. Although, as I said, this coming year, I have been given a draft rota, which really changes my schedule in a very good way. I don't really know how well it's going to affect me, and it's only a trial rota, so we'll have to see whether or not it actually works out well in practice. But basically, one of my colleagues on another tier of me has requested specific days off for something that they need to do outside of work, which means that with those 2 days off taken automatically by that person, it also means that he then has to cover things like weekends. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how it will work out. I'm quietly optimistic that it will give me time and energy, and just rejiggle things a little bit. We'll see how it goes. KSJ Hawker says, I know what you mean. He's a night owl. Going to bed before midnight seems odd. Yes. If I was allowed to run by my own body clock, I would not go to bed before 2. I would not wake up before 2. I'm not well digested in terms of a good sleep balance. I kind of want to get myself a Fitbit at some point just to see how bad my sleep schedule actually is on record. As it is, it's not great, but I suppose the advantage of getting up early does mean that I do have to get up early. the complication comes from either not napping in the afternoons or napping in the afternoons because I really am knackered, and then I don't sleep at night, and then I have to get up in the morning, and it's just, my sleep schedule is immensely messed up. Anyone who has watched any of my videos, I keep meaning to make like a montage of all the times I've been like, I'm sleepy, I just want to go to bed, like make a montage of that, but I don't think I have the time. Because it's such a big project. It would, oh gosh, I think probably 80% of my videos have me going, oh, just about to go to bed because I'm sleepy. I've just got home from work, I'm sleepy. I've just got to go to bed because I've got to get up for work because I'm sleepy. So I do try and stop complaining, but clearly not that good of shit. Anyway, moving on to the Twitter tag game number 4 from September 13th. Let's have a look. Tours Time says, very nice, you're much better a Twitterer than I. And smiley face. I have an idea of the next tag. We'll flesh it out and post. So I think I know which one that was. I don't know whether or not I think we discussed that one privately, and then that came out in the various autumn tags. So that's exciting. I might sneeze. I might not. Okay. Pause for drama. Yes, so thank you. I don't think of myself as a particularly good tweeter. Tweet. But it's my main form of kind of social media that is open to the public. I do use Facebook, not very often and very poorly. But I specifically keep that private. That is for my use and my family's use and my friends' use. I don't allow access to my internet self. My name is Jenny. You guys don't need to know my surname or my, any personal details about my family, because that's their details, and my surname is my own. I'm sure I mentioned my surname at some point, but I just don't say it too often. And my Facebook is my MeSpace, but my it's my MeSpace, not my MySpace. And my Twitter is the open, like, hey, if you want to get in contact with me, do my Twitter. Check out my YouTube. I do like the comments, and one of my favorite things ever is when people comment to each other's comments without my input, which, every time I see that makes me happy. Anyway, am I going to sneeze? No, I'm still not going to sneeze. When I do sneeze, this is going to be an epic, gross event. Baxhorn says, never forget why or how you ever forget why or how you follow certain people on Twitter. Sometimes I'm like, who is this? And how did I get them on my followed list? Yeah, that sometimes happens to me. I think sometimes one of the tricks that Twitter does is, like, when it comes to business addresses, they'll change the name. And so you think you've subscribed to one thing, and then they'll change the name, and it's still the same content, but it's under a different name. Or sometimes with the, like, spookified names, I sometimes get confused with people who I know I've followed, and I look at these people and I'm like, who is this person? I have to double click, look at the pictures, and I'm like, oh, it's this person. I didn't realise they changed their name because I'm a moron, or they're a moron. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that with Facebook. People are people, and it's very clear who they are. With Twitter, there's slightly more flexibility on that. But either way, I do sometimes find people on my list that I really don't think I followed, but some people I know that I have followed, and they've just changed their name or their profile picture or whatever, and that adds a little bit of a double step, just to be like, who is this? Oh, it's you. Oh, that's interesting. Anywho. Big Virgo Tube says, I remember the vampire victim costume, but these were better shots of it. Was this from a roleplay? So the costume is a red Renaissance gown, not Renaissance, Regency gown that I made. There is actually a video of I made a Regency dress, where I'm very excited about that. There was some muslin that was being sold in a craft sale, which had been used to decorate an entire barn for someone's wedding, like big swaths of it. So it was ridiculously cheap, and I bought quite a lot of it. And then I used that to make a Renaissance gown, which also I got. There was a discounted. I keep saying Renaissance. I don't mean Renaissance. I mean Regency. There was a discounted Regency dress pattern that was also within that fabric sale. So I picked up both. And I'm not one of those people usually when I make costumes that I usually alter pre-existing items. I don't usually make from first principles, and the few times I have tried, there was, I think, a dress that I tried to make, like a lilac backless dress that when I was a teenager I was like, I want a lilac backless dress designed by Vogue. And I think I drew a picture of like just a dress that I was like, this is a pretty dress, and then my mum was like, oh, we should try making it, and I was like, oh, I don't think that's really possible. And then we drove to the local fabric shop and tried to find a pattern as close as possible to the dress design that I made just on a whim. And then me and my mum sat and made this dress, and I don't remember actively ever saying, oh yeah, I really do want to make this dress. And so I can remember just my mum getting more and more frustrated as to why I wasn't enthused about making this dress that she thought would be a great project for me. And I don't remember ever thinking I would like to make this dress. I think I remember doing some mock-ups with some fake fabric, but I didn't expect her to go out and, buy the fabric and buy the pattern and then try and put it all together. I think perhaps there's a lesson in, how hard it is to actually make items of clothing, but it wasn't something that I can remember actually initiating. But either way, the dress was okay. It was never going to be something that I would wear outdoors. But it was a fun project. It was genuinely a fun project. But yeah, so I was really excited about, this is the second time really, I think, within memory, making a dress from first principles, and it turned out really well considering it was only my second time making a full dress. And I was so excited having made this dress, this entire dress, puff sleeves, bodice, train and everything, half using the pattern, half improvising, and how it turned out pretty well. That I wanted to show it off. So I made a video. I made this dress, woo! And then at the same time, what was happening in the series, the D&D series, Critical Role, which I talk about way too much, was it was running up the Derulo plotline. And in that plotline, for people who aren't familiar, I'm going to try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible. But basically, there was a character whose sibling had been mentioned once or twice, but had never actually appeared in the story, and it was unclear whether or not that sibling was or was not still alive. And at this point in the story, there'd been proven, I've kind of spoiled it slightly, but the question was the vampire victim costume. I did like blood droplets going down my neck and a big scar and some fake scars on my arm. When I did do that artwork, it had been revealed that the family had had some sort of incident involving at least one vampire. So because there was a Schrodinger's cat at the point that I made that video, was whether or not this character who had never appeared in the story but had been talked about, was alive or dead. Whether or not they were a collaborator with the bad guys or a good person, whether or not they had died being a good person or died being a bad person. It depended on where they got to the story at the time. It was a Schrodinger's cat character. And so, having made this dress that I thought was perfect for the era for which this character could have been from, and just wanting to do something fun, I did that design. The fake tattoo that I drew on my hand was the family crest for the person who I was doing the costume for. The knife and the blood and wounds were meant to show possibly what had happened to the character. It was my interpretation of what could have happened to the character, and to be honest, they never really answered what the truth to what that character was. They did, spoiler alert, I'm just going to go all out spoilers now, so I'm not going to do a time code, just come back when I give the thumbs up, just mute for a few moments. If you don't want any spoilers for Critical Role, wait till I give the thumbs up and then come back. Okay, so basically the character was Cassandra Derulo, Percy's sister. She and the rest of the family was possibly killed by vampires. She was one of the few who escaped, theoretically, but it was the last member of the family that Percy saw before he fled. And it's unclear what happened to her, really. There's some stuff about she was shot in the back by arrows, she was brought back to life somewhat by a priest, and then she was kidnapped. She set up a resistance and then was kidnapped back again by the Briarwoods. And then the questions there are a little bit squiffy about whether or not she's an unreliable teller of this story, how much is actually true of how much she was a rebellion leader versus how much of her was on the side of the Briarwoods. I want to know, and I never actually found out whether or not it was magical effects that projected her loyalty to the Briarwoods, at one point even abandoning all the characters, including her brother, to an acid pit. I don't know how much of that was magical and how much of that was genuine trauma, Stockholm syndrome type thing, and how much of that was just fear. I genuinely don't know how much of that was built into the character, and it wasn't ever answered. It was one of the questions I was really hoping I did submit for the Talks Machina wrap up. I never found out if Cassandra was magically influenced or psychically and physically influenced, and also how bad she was treated during her time, whether or not, because there's the implication it could have just been that she was treated like a china doll and like a useless child during her time kept in the castle as a figurehead for the what will happen to the rebellion. That could be one way to do it, or you could go to the much darker path of more abuse and torture, or just psychic stuff. It's hard to know. There is the hint that she's pretty low on hit points. She passes out right on top of the right after the ritual is completed. And I think Matt says something along the lines of with the psychic damage she's taken and the physical damage. So I think she probably was on some sort of magical influence, but it's hard to tell. She was greater restorated, but depending on what the spell was, it's hard to know. But basically, this was before her character was revealed. Long story short, so much for a short video. This is a ridiculously detailed, in-depth anecdote for people who aren't that interested in Critical Role. Basically, this was before the character was introduced. I didn't know what her story was. It was my interpretation that probably she was alive, because that's always an interesting thing to bring up, is to have previous characters or character backstory characters come back. So it would be more interesting to have her alive than have her just dead. So I always thought she would come back. But my assumption was that she was going to be in like a dungeon and tortured. So that's the idea for the costume, but still fighting, hence the dagger. Anyway, to conclude, it was a really fun costume. I really enjoyed it. There we go. End of spoilers for Critical Role, which, wow, I don't know how many of you obsessively watch me enough to get this far into these sort of videos, and how much of you watch Critical Role enough to be like Critical Role and you're impassioned enough but haven't caught up yet. I'll be really interested to know if there's anyone who is at all interested. But there we go. That was my inspiration for my costume, and it was really fun to do. On to the next video, which is a comic commentary, April catch up, which was released on September 15th. So Nathan Lyle official says he'd watch a live stream if there wasn't a 12-hour difference, and he stopped watching SourceFed over a year before the rebranding and had no personal feelings towards the channel or personalities, but was still pissed him off to hear the whole situation was handled. How the whole situation was handled. He lives in Texas and was on the edge of Harvey's range when it was hit, so we got like 4 straight days of rain. Other than that, it wasn't too bad. I had enough water to fill my water bottle. That's awesome. So again, I think water bottle was the secret word of the week at that point. And yeah, as I said, with not doing live streaming, my main reason for doing that is there wouldn't be enough viewership. And I know that I have a ridiculously dedicated fan base. Pretty much every name that I've read out during this comic commentary, you guys comment so much. You are the heart and soul of this channel, genuinely. There's some of you who've been subscribed right from the beginning, from the movie club days. You guys are just awesome and lovely and down to earth, and you're very, very dedicated. But there is the time difference, there is my work schedule, there is my just general brain schedule and my sleep schedule, and all of those things combined that I cannot ever give a specific time and date to be like, hey guys, this time on a Saturday. I just can't. It's not something that I can ever guarantee, ever. And because of that, that's an unfair thing for me to be like, hey, why don't you guys turn up to Saturday 3 o'clock, when I cannot guarantee that I will ever be free at Saturday at 3 o'clock. Even if that is 12 hours difference, you know, you guys can prepare, or I can, you know, usually for me, most of my viewership is in America, and I do know this, and most of my viewership is American, and male. So I know that if I were for me to film pretty late in the evening, that's usually a relatively practical time for you guys. But there we go. I can't ever really guarantee a specific time, and with time differences in this international audience, even though I know some of you are truly dedicated to this channel to a phenomenal level, and often more dedicated than I am to this channel, it seems unfair of me to be able to be like, here's a live stream and expect any of you to turn up, because it's just an unreal expectation. But there we go. That's the long short version of it. And SourceFed, I've talked about this several times. So yeah, it kind of, the way it was handled was not great. But there we go. A lot of people had teetered off by that point anyway. So I'm glad you did okay with Harvey, and I hope nothing bad happened. KSJ Hawker says, "Darn, I didn't make it to 60, but long enough that you need to refill your water bottle. Hey hey." The Facedown Penny is just okay. So this, I talked about unlucky pennies. So I'm just gonna read this one verbatim and see how I go. So, the Facedown Penny is just my invention. What if a person losing the penny was having a run of bad luck? You could be picking up a bad penny, but how would you know? Logically, with pennies being two-sided, maybe the face-down penny would be unlucky. Wouldn't you feel unlucky if you hit the ground face down? It's a good thing that people aren't true believers in that landscape would be littered with face-down pennies. So I think he said that face-down pennies are unlucky and face-up pennies are lucky. I understand that argument. It seems interesting enough. I always just find a penny, pick it up, all the day you'll have good luck is something that I grew up hearing. So that's my 2 pence on it. Hey, hey. That glass of wine. Maybe I should have a second. Okay, now moving on to I'm Home from Paris videos incoming vlogtober ? And that's from October 3rd. So KSJ Hawker says, I've something you never heard before. I have Eiffel Towers in my ears. Yeah. I like to make new phrases every once in a while. And I knew it would be an interesting thing to say, and hopefully relatively witty. So yeah, that was fun. I still do have those earrings. I haven't had a chance to wear them out lately because for work I'm not allowed to wear any sort of earrings, let alone dangly ones. And then most of the time when I'm just day to day, I try not to wear dangly earrings because it's so much effort if it gets caught in your hair. And at the moment I'm wearing scarves all the time, so the scarves are up to here. So you know, I need more opportunities to wear silly earrings, I think, especially now I have a new pair which I really want to wear. I really kind of want to wear them to work, but if I wore them to work, there is a lot of dislike for Harry Potter at work. Due to the nature of the place I work in, there's a lot of dislike for Harry Potter at work. But I would kind of like to wear those earrings in at one point just to see the look on some of my colleagues' faces, just for the fun of it. Like, I don't know how many of them would actually understand what the Deathly Hallows is. They'd probably be like, I've seen them in the thing. But there we go. There we go. That's a nice obscure little reference to anyone who actually watches my channel and knows where I work. But there we go. There's very few of you who do that. KSJ says, LOL! One sec, am I on the right? Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot to mention. So, on to the next video. I closed the tab without finishing my thing. On to the next video, which is Oblivion number 2, Haunted House, Sexually Frequency Downstairs, and 90s TV. So, this was a really funny, this is probably one of my favourite Oblivion videos I've ever done. It was wonderfully edited by my friend Chris. He just came up with the concept on his own and just put it all together, and I adore it. I think it's freaking hilarious, and it has been my channel trailer up until this Christmassy thing where I've just changed the thing, so I've put up a more recent video for my channel trailer. But I think it's so funny. And even though I never watched through the keyhole, I like the concept, I like the design. It's very well edited. Thank you, Chris, for doing that. Anywho, KSJ Hawker agrees with me and says, LOL! More to the point. There we go. And Torse Time says, this was really cute. Well done. Thank you. All the credit does go to Chris, honestly. Thank you for putting it all together, Chris. You're awesome. Okay. So, making my Halloween prop from October 19th. KSJ Hawker says, you must be a lower elf if your trident doesn't have gold in it. So my primary metallicing for my trident was silver. That was partially because of I just think silver looked good. I think partially because Nyla as a character is very practical. Gold's not that practical a thing. And the thing with that particular, like the overall colour themes of that character was silver and blues and purples and greens, like oceany colours. So silver made more sense than gold. And silver is harder and more practical as well. That all fed into it. On top of that, Nyla's not a high elf. She's actually a wood elf. She's a wood elf who most of her core life experiences actually happened on water, ironically. So she's not a high elf. Her family is nobility, but her actual heritage is wood elf. There we go. But silver just worked better for the character overall, and I think gold would have really clashed with the overall look. But there we go. Tours Time says, "Ooh, that trident is so cool. Great find." Yeah, I was really surprised actually. I wasn't expecting to find anything good. I thought I'd get one of those like really cheap stuffs with like really cheap like devil tridents like this high and like with the classic like just like your classic little devil spikes and like really really cheap. That's what I expected to get and then have to do my best with it, and I was really really happy to find that sort of like serpent look. It obviously looked awful in the original design, but then I coloured it and I was really really happy with it, especially after I added the crystal rocks. I was really really happy with it. So that was really fun, and it was really cheap. Like it's one of those happy prop moments where you're like, it's perfect and it's like plastic and not that expensive. So that was good. Red Sky Blackbird asked if I made the trident myself, so hopefully that video covered it. It was a bought prop which I then decorated, including the handle and the painting and the stones that I added to it. There is a picture of the original one, it just flashes up there, so do rewatch the video if you have any queries on that one. And also ask, what was Jenny saying? I can't hear from the over the bed, because I filmed that on my web camera again for time issues to make sure I could get the full length without running out of either battery or sim space. I filmed it on my web camera and did a time lapse. But again, my audio quality is not great on this, so the audio quality wouldn't have been great. But hopefully you heard enough to understand. Maybe not. You asked a very simple question there, so I don't know. I don't know. Moving on. Wow, this is going to be a really short commentary. We're under 40 minutes. I only have 2 videos left to go. Crazy. Sights of Autumn sort of tour tag game. So this is a sort of tour tag game because specifically me and Tor discussed it kind of off screen. We didn't do the official tag to tag. We did the discussion on what we should do for October Vlogtober type tags. So that's why it's a sort of tour tag, not a full tour tag, but we did discuss it and we did tag each other in it, but it was more of a debate off camera rather than a, this is my idea, you do it, this is your idea, I do it. It was more like, ooh, wouldn't it be cool if we did this and this and this. And towards times Akio says, oh, so pretty. Yes, it was really fun actually. It's a very mild autumn followed by quite a chilly winter, so it was actually really fun for me to wander around and have a look at some leaves and enjoy the colours of autumn and all of that sort of thing. So Spooky Shopping Scavenger Hunt Vlogoween tour tag game, published on the 22nd. So this was another really fun video to film. Part of what I filmed for the Sights of Autumn also were put into this one. I made sure there was no duplicates between the 2 videos. This was really fun actually. So I was surprised how much I could actually tick off the list. A lot of that stuff I was expecting not to be able to find, because of various reasons to do with the fact that England doesn't really do Halloween like the Americas, including Canada, do. It's not really a thing, but I obviously managed to find enough. It was mostly a £1 shop, and Tesco's that did the trick for all of this, which was really interesting. Chris says Monster Mash. I loved that little singing pumpkin. I wasn't expecting to love it that much, but I don't know whether or not you can tell the camera's slightly shaky when I'm there, because I was literally behind the camera going and trying to like hide my excitement from passing children. Yeah, so that was really fun. I almost bought it just for the cutes, but I know that my parents would have gone absolutely crazy if I brought it home on Halloween night. Oh god, anyone else living in the house would have gone absolutely crazy. But yeah, it was cute. It was cute. To the monster mash, the monster mash. It was really fun. KSJ says, donut. I did actually buy a set of the Halloween donuts, and they were good. They were black and orange sprinkled. They tasted slightly orangey, but they were mostly just tasted like your average donut. Like I now know what Halloween, winter, and Easter donuts taste like, which given that they're occasions, not flavors, it's interesting that I know what they taste like now. But definitely my donut craving has not ended. I'm still a little bit of a donut fiend. So yeah, that was donuts. You can't go wrong with donuts, especially festive donuts. And I think I did also buy some Halloween donuts for on Halloween night I think I've talked about this in a previous video, but on Halloween night I threw a come round and watch movies with me and also help me answer the door, because I don't want to always have to be the one answering the door party, with a few of my D&D friends. We had a really good night. We watched Rocky Horror Picture Show and Hocus Pocus. And I also bought some Halloween donuts for them, and we had Halloween donuts, which was lovely. Halloween Krispy Kreme, in fact, which again, I think I've talked about this before. Krispy Kreme is a real treat for me. It's a rare, few and far between thing. So I had Krispy Kreme both on my birthday and on Halloween. So I'm going crazy this year. Tools Time says, oh my god, the spooky desserts you showed are awesome. I was actually really impressed. The brain cake looked like I would never eat that brain cake. That would gross me out too much, but it looked really good. As I said, the spooky donuts were really nice. The spooky covered cupcakes were really cool. Oh, I also did go into a cake shop, and that's where I got the lollies and whatnot. My nose is running. I'm sorry. Oh god. I'm gonna get tissue. Oh, that's gross. That's so gross. Live production, guys. There we go. A big box of mat tissues. There we go. Sorry about that. It's because my bedroom's really cold downstairs, where all the rest of the family is enjoying Christmas movies right now, and I'm dedicatedly coming up here to film my video. My bedroom's really quite cold, and downstairs in the main family room, it's nice and toasty because of the fire. So the things I do for you guys, including, you know, blowing my nose on camera, which is just delightful, and I'm sure it's something you've always wanted to see. Anyway, that is it for this round of commentaries. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to comment. This is quite short for commentary, but as I said, I did add quite a few more videos onto this, so it would have been a lot shorter had I not decided to do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I shall open an advent for you, because this will probably be the only video I film today. Okay, one sec. Hold on for one moment. Okay, so advent for today. Today is the 22nd. Let's have a look. There we go. It's right in the clock face there. Okay, so it is some sort of a car. I don't know what type of car that is. I don't know how well you can see it. If you can identify that type of car, please do tell me. I don't think it's a Mini. I think it might be maybe a police car, or oh, maybe it might be a black taxi actually. There we go. And the chocolate, I believe, is a leaf. Using my powers of deduction. Hey, I'm not holding camera. I could open it with my hands and nearly drop it. It's a clock. I'm wrong. It's a dark chocolate clock. Anyway. Thank you all for watching. The secret word of the day today is going to be clock. So if you want to put that down in the comments, I know you're a crazy person and watch all the way to the end of the video. So you get that, you know. Thank you. I know that you are amazing and crazy. And you can put it in as subtly as you like, or you can put it in like in code. It's up to you. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Feel free to comment. See you all tonight if you want to swing by and watch me play some Oblivion on Twitch. Twitch.com/classlibrarian. And oh god, so cold. Oh. In the meantime, see you guys all when I do, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, and lots of videos coming out in the next couple of days. Bye, 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 bye.